Hello and a very warm welcome to the Andrew Eborn show, where I'm delighted that my guest today is the return of the fantastic Charmaine. How are you, Charmaine?
Oh, really good. How are you? I like your checked jacket.
Thank you. Isn't that good? There you go.
Yeah, you must be feeling that Friday feeling today.
You've got that Friday feeling, which is wonderful. And talking of Friday feelings, the last time that I saw you, you were going off on this fantastic mission to an unknown destination for a little bit of Aya. And you sent me a video report, and I saw a bit of that. Talk to me about what happened. Talk to me about your experience. What actually went on?
I arrived at the ceremony. It was a private ceremony, so it was just me, the shaman, and he had two assistants. So I played the didgeridoo into me mid-ceremony, which means like all the vibrations and the medicine works through your system. So that was epic. I've never had a live didgeridoo. Dom, the assistant, was just like this really calming little like Buddha presence. So I had assistants either side, and then the shaman was sat opposite me, Billy, and he held a fantastic space. The medicine was tough, not as traumatic at all as the oh, sorry about this, someone's trying to ring me, just let me get them off.
That's all right, you're popular, you see, everybody's trying to get through.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, so the ceremony was beautiful, the space was amazing, the music was phenomenal. We did breath work before. The medicine, I set clear intentions. I don't take medicine lightly, as we all know, but it definitely done the job. It removed lots of blocks that was in me. I crawled out of the ceremony room as soon as I was able, because the purge was quite intense. Like the snakes of Aya, that's what I see. Some people get unicorns and rainbows. I get pure snakes going through me, out of me. I purged and my body done like downward dog style. So it was quite violent with me, but the medicines are. I'm a very resistant person sometimes.
Sure. So talk to me, Charmaine, about the medicine, because actually when we last left you, you were getting ready for this journey. It was an unknown destination. You must have been a little bit apprehensive. I know the last time you had quite a traumatic, maybe is the way of describing it, experience, but take us back a little bit, because those who tuned in earlier, what were following your journey, about firstly, why you would go on the journey, and secondly, the medicine that you would take. You call it medicine. Tell us what it actually is, and then talk a bit more about the process that you went through.
Okay, so the medicine I'm referring to is called Ayahuasca. It's the vine of the soul. It's traditionally brewed in Native America, Peru, mainly. A lot of people will go out to Peru, but it's practiced in many, many indigenous tribes all over the world, and it has done for centuries. And they mix you beat the ayahuasca. I've made it when I was in the jungle. You beat the vine and you sing Icaros the whole time. That charges the medicine with pure intent, and the Icaros work with the medicine. The medicine tells the shaman these Icaros, and the Icaros are also part of that medicine, as are the tools that the shaman use. So that is ayahuasca. It is then mixed with chacruna leaves, or there's other leaves that they use in the jungle. It is mainly chacruna leaves. The chacruna contains the DMT, which activates the ayahuasca in your stomach. Otherwise, your stomach would just absorb it. So you drink it traditionally in little like double shot glasses, and a full shot glass, like double shot glass, is a full dose. And you might go, some people will have to do 1 cup, some people will have to do 3 or 4 cups. But I was given like a coconut husk. And when I went up, I looked at the shaman on my knees and just went, that's really big. And he just went, you don't mess around. Okay, thank you. And I necked it, no orange. So I had to really keep it down. And then I crawled back to my bed I was lucky I had a double bed. I had a whole private ceremony, because listening to other people purge, put themselves screaming out in distress, you know, they're going through their releases. That causes me distress. I know from the jungle I can't be in that space at the moment. So I laid on the bed thinking, oh my God, please be kind to me, please be kind to me. And then it was like, get out your victim state, Charmaine, you're here to do the work. So why did I go? The reason why I went is because my worldview was blown apart during lockdown. I had no idea that there's no freedom of speech, that the media only tells us what we want to hear. I had no idea how many sick paedophiles and how much satanic ritual abuse is going in amongst the elite, our schools, filtering down. So that blew my world apart. You know, I really trusted the people. I've never been big on reading the news since I left the city, but still, I could not believe, and I well done my research as well. So I'd love to say this is a conspiracy. It absolutely isn't. One word, Epstein. So I'm not going to hanker on that. I had to clear that vibration. It caused so much anger and frustration in me that I knew I had to turn it around, because what you think about, you bring about. No one wants to be vibing down there. And it was really important that I've raised my vibrations. If I can't do it, how can I help anyone else? And I really tried all different ways. You know, I was reaching out to you. I was ringing the media, like, why aren't you reporting the most important news of the world? That was my framework. And that's not good. It's never good to hanker on those negative vibrations. So I had to turn it around, and I didn't know how. Hence why I did ayahuasca. Like, times were changing and I had to adapt with the times quickly. So that is why I done ayahuasca. I needed to release that amount of anger. I needed to learn. Like, my intention was show me, what do I do now? Like, how can I make a little bit of difference, not just to me, but for other people? And the medicine really did give me what I needed. I was scared, I'm not going to lie. And I was doing this because I was aware of all this stuff coming out of me. And as you know from the smudging videos, like I needed that constant clearing and the healing, and the shaman were fantastic. And then I crawled outside. I wanted fresh air. I desperately, like, I went to, all right, I might as well just say it, I shit myself. Which wasn't very nice. So I crawled up the stairs. I think I just about made it to the toilet. And when I was sat there, I thought I was an octopus. So I couldn't work out how many arms and legs I had to go, which amused me. I was like, well, if I've got a sense of humour, I've nearly written out this Aya ceremony. And I went outside. The whole ceremony has been filmed by Underground Films. It's called the Ayahuasca Experience. It will be released on Vimeo and Amazon Prime by mid-November, so that people can see a sacred ceremony. You know, you don't mess around with the plant medicines. And it's so that you could, like, now we're having a little chat, like, things have really shifted for me since. And there's other medicines in that video as well, so that people can see a little bit of a journey.
And I think that's the key, isn't it? It's going on that journey and helping people to understand. So the position you were surrounded by the media, it was polluting your thinking. You wanted to get clarity. You'd been on one of these journeys beforehand. How many years beforehand had you taken the medicine, as you call it?
Oh, the last time I'd taken the medicine was 3 years ago. To the month, 3 years ago to the month, right. When I went out to Peru for a month and done a month long in the Amazon drinking. I was meant to drink Aya 5 times. In the 3rd ceremony, she told me loud and clear, this is self-harm. By the 4th ceremony, I was trying to gouge out lumps out of my armpits. I wasn't held in a safe space. There was a person locked in the toilet for 8 hours. And we was told that if we was to assist another person in our ceremony, that they would be dragged into our journey. No one wants to be dragged into one of my journeys. It's not unicorns and rainbows. It's serpents and clearing. And I left that person in the toilet more worried that I disrespect the shaman helping someone, and that hour on earth I thought he could have been in a worse place, screaming, help me, in his eye journey, locked in the toilet. So it was I've actually met up with another girl that was part of that group, because I haven't seen any of that group since. I totally distanced myself from them because, as you know, I had to escape from the jungle. And when we caught up, I didn't recognise her. She was there for addictions. I was there for addictions. First thing I'd done when I got out of the jungle was get back on cocaine. First thing she did when she got out of the jungle was go back to crack. Now, we're both professionals. Like, it's not like we're uneducated and don't know any better. So I said to her, I was the only person who stood up to all of those shaman and said to them, like, this isn't okay. Like, you're traumatizing but vulnerable people. I was there more for an experience. So it's one of my biggest lessons with regards to the medicine. Like, it's no joke. Have a clear intention. So, yeah, she said every single person from that group had some form of trauma from that trip after. It was just that I was the first one to feel it, pick up on it, and do something about it. So
that's got to be the thing, hasn't it? Because I remember you telling me that last time. It was a terribly traumatic experience, what you had 3 years ago to the month, as you say.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you do it again?
Satanic ritual abuse, the elite, the royal family, half of these people we've grown up with on the telly abusing children, and me not being able to shake that disgusting, rotten violation against human rights and children. I think it's disgusting.
But how and I understand you've said that before, and that was your sort of journey. I'm trying to make the link between the two, because 3 years
Okay, so
you went on a terribly traumatic journey.
Yes, so
people were traumatized. You then go back and say, how does that solve what you perceive to be the bits in the world? Because you've got all the torment, and you say you want to.
Yes, I was consumed by, I was absolutely consumed. I was so angry and I couldn't shake it. I was reaching out, you know, it was at that time, most people had their heads in the sand and it's a conspiracy. And then I discovered, well, lots of people know it's been going on for years. So I literally couldn't shake it. It was locked down. I needed to focus my energy on something constructive or find a way, because then people started reaching out to me like Shah, and they was full of anger. And so it was around me. I was attracting it. I was vibrating, like attracts like. So your vibe attracts your tribe. And I really needed to do my
vibe attracts your tribe. I can't let that one go. That's like a wonderful slogan. Your vibe attracts your tribe. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
So what was the tribe that you were giving off, and what was the tribe that you attracted?
Oh, it was a lot of not negative people, but obviously like a lot of, well, it's still happening. Yeah, there's a divide happening now amongst our country, mask wearers, non-mask wearers, all of this sort of stuff. And so if you're riddled with a vibration, it's going to sink you. That leaves you open to entities, illness, physical, mental, and emotional illness. And I didn't want to sit around and ride through lockdown on my own, not being able to shake it or focus on other stuff. I really needed to find my passion and find that glory, that joy, that magic, that hummingbird energy again. And because I'm not in education for the first time in my life, I've constantly been in full-time employment and education, be it doing degree in counselling, banking and securities exams, my accountancy exams, then 5 years on the shamanic medicine wheel training. I didn't have a teacher. And I was like, oh, so I decided I'm going to let the plant medicines be my teacher for the next year. I'd run away from them for 2.5 years, but the plant medicines were absolutely part of a massive recovery and ascension process for me. Might not have been in the kindest of ways, but the medicine gives you what you need. She was kinder to me this time. I needed direction, and I was carrying a lot of ego and fear regarding helping people that was asking me to help them, like, Shah, can you teach us more? And I was like, no, I've got teachers that can do that. So I also had to get over my ego and step up and do what I'm trained to do. So at the moment, I am writing a 2-day bridge to shamanism course, which will cover a lot more than what I learned on the Gateway, because some of the people I work with are actual healers, and they work plant medicine, but they've not got the shamanic medicine wheel training, which, I'll be honest with you, there's an absolute need for there to be some governing of what we do. You know, we've got a duty of care to people, and these people coming from the heart place, it's not that they're skipping over or just not doing stuff. It's just that they don't know. And if they don't want to go on the full shamanic medicine wheel training, which many people don't, because once you're initiated in, you are in. It's a 2-week initiation to come off, and your life is going to change in the hugest of ways. So I'm writing a course at the moment, 2-day bridge course. It will be small groups for people to learn how to protect themselves, do healings on themselves and others, have fire ceremonies, all the stuff that keeps your vibrations high. And during the summer, I was off in my camper van. I had a lot more freedom than most. I'm still struggling, but I've still got more freedom than most. So I was going around the campsites doing ecstatic dance, knocking on the tents. I'm doing ecstatic dance for free today. Would you like to come and join in? So that people can still have some sense of community, but be like, we're in a field with about 10 people dancing, but those numbers did grow over lockdown, all their little eye blindfolds on. So yeah, the ire got me over what I was consumed by, focused and showed me a different way to do what I love and what I really need, and to be able to share that with all of these.
You took us through a lot of those things. We talked about smudging, you talk about the dance, you talk about all that sort of positivity. I even got a mug for you today. Think like a proton and stay positive. That's what it is.
Yes.
I thought that was good. So all of those messages I absolutely get. And as I say, I keep an open mind about a lot of things. I'm still struggling, if you like, about the Aya ceremony. Because as you say, the first time you did it 3 years ago, you and everybody else in the group were so traumatized that you go back again, you take the medicine, a much bigger, not a little thimbleful, not a little shot-sized glass, but a whole half shell of coconut. It makes you violently ill. You lose control of your bowels and things like that. So you do all that sort of stuff. Afterwards, did you feel traumatized or did you feel cleansed? Did it actually work? I mean, tell me about afterwards. How did you feel?
Even in the jungle, like, let's have it right, even though the medicine is still going to do its work, it's only ever going to give you what you can handle, whether you feel like you can handle it or not. But afterwards, like, I work with addicts and I work with some of the heaviest energies. What don't we extract from these people, you know, that's really breaking down their vital life force, informing their everyday decisions. Like, we don't have to let our past inform our future, but we can learn from it. So even though the medicine was tough, the space was tough, and the things that the shaman made us do, you would never have to stomp around a fire with a stick because you're impure. That is never okay. That is never something that would be practiced. We was just very unfortunate that the shaman out there, they were once from the heart place, come from that place. I don't know what was happening out there when we got out there, but it was certainly very different to that. No one else has ever been forced to drink 2nd and 3rd cups of ayahuasca, but our group was forced, you know, never was anyone given non-fully functioning person, like, pull them to the altar and make them drink another cup. And so that's what
the last one then. So the one you did 3 years ago, that was a bad one, and you wouldn't recommend people going to that one. Is that okay?
It's made me a phenomenal healer. Like, I am so I've been to such depths, like dark night of the soul. That's not to be like, that's no joke. Anyone who's been there knows that. The day you're ringing an agency called the Samaritans, and I used to work for the Samaritans, and like I'm ringing them up because I really don't know what's going on. But once you've been there, you absolutely can help people from that place. Same as most challenges and most wounded healers. Like, then you can step into your authenticity, step into your power. You recognize the place where someone's at, and you can pull them through. You feel them heavy energies, and you are more than comfortable to get that bottle of agua in your mouth, get your head right down, and start sucking those, which is how I do extractions. So entities, they can come in the form of thought forms. We've all felt other people's anger and hate. But have we ever sat to think about the own despise, anger and hate and cruelty that we show to ourselves, you know? And these all manifest in our energetic bodies. So, and obviously I work with heavy energy addicts, you know, they do their nectar, as they'd see it, they're toxic, whatever they're putting in their bodies. And this opens up your energy field, you know, you're like a beacon. Come feed off of me, leeches. I'll take in any of that negativity, which is how a lot of illness is formed from the shamanic point of view. You can avoid some illnesses just by doing simple things.
So in simple terms, so people watching this, what the whole ceremony is, and you take this, and it's a purge. Maybe that's the best way of putting it. It's a purge,
yes,
both physically and mentally. So afterwards, you feel as though you're in a much better place. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah. Afterwards, you'll go through a process. So I went through a process, but mine was actually really nice. Like I was ready. Like I felt like a warrior after. Like after ceremony, it was just like that. I looked around at
I remember that. We remember the positive things and the great feelings.
Yes,
I would certainly support that.
and
the difficulty is the bit where you're physically and mentally ill as a result of taking this stuff.
Yes.
Why you've got to warn people about it. And I'm sure that in the documentary about to air.
Some journeys are really beautiful. Like I've got some friends that are shaman, and they've recently done ayahuasca, and they had no purge. They just got real clear visions, direction, really big messages to assist them on their ascension process. So, and I probably will be doing it again.
Probably or definitely?
It's calling me. I'm very resistant.
Okay. So July the 10th that you went to have it done. Before that, it was 3 years earlier. But you're rush back and have another one?
Only because I've heard that this ceremony is very different. So, but like I say, you have to be careful when you're just going to do things for curiosity. But it's. I would love to experience the nurture. And the beauty and the rainbows, but I'll be honest with you, I've come up against another bit of resistance with this 6-person rule, and I actually called the police just to clarify that it's okay for me to book 2 tables of 6 in a pub to take a bunch of addicts to, because there's no other way for them to get that support group feel. She told me, I'm not going to tell you the way around the COVID rules, and I said, well, I've just told you a way around the COVID rules. I said, I've opened up my house all summer and abided the rules. I've had to turn people away. Some of them have relapsed. Some of them have committed suicide. I said, and I asked her, professional to professional, as one person who's got a duty of care to another, as an individual who spent years training to help people, just like she did, to have a safer, more healthful society. How would she feel if it was her son that I was turning away, that was actually doing really, really good and hadn't relapsed and possibly would? One of my addicts sent me a picture. I was like, how are you doing? She sent me a picture of her laying in a graveyard, which is where they go and get their supplies. So the reason why ayahuasca might be coming up again is because I just feel such frustration. Keep people safe, like the elderly, you know, those that are higher risk, and please let fully functioning adults like me that fully are aware of the risks choose who they let into their homes. So I'm coming up against a little bit more resistance because it doesn't make any logical sense to me what is going on again. And instead of fighting it, I need to find a way around it.
So as you say, what we look at and let people decide themselves, we try and give as much information as possible about ceremony. This is what happened. As you say, it's a purge, both physically and also emotionally. That's why you go through the process. It's you take the, so in a nutshell, what you do, you take this medicine, it has that physical reaction to you and also the mental reaction. And then afterwards, you're hopefully going on a good journey and you're seeing the unicorns and the rainbows, as you say, or in your case, the demons, which you still perceive as all coming out of you. And then hopefully, having had that purge, you feel as though you're in a better place. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, because they fill you up with goodness after. You have all the sound healing, the rattling. You're in a totally safe space. They fill you up. But as well as what you're conscious of, what your intentions are of why you're going there, the medicine will be clearing and working and resetting, recalibrating you on many different levels, like DNA, physical healing. Some people have been in immense pain, and I mean immense pain, bedridden, unable to walk, and they've drunk the medicine and like they've got no health issues. It's not always just a one.
So some people have good experiences, but just like you had 3 years ago to the month, as you say, some people go away really traumatized by it. And I think it's really important that we get that sort of balance. So anybody looking at this, talk to lots of people, get the information. As we always say, keep an open mind, but question everything, because people have to be safe whenever you're looking at things. And I was genuinely concerned when you were going to an unknown place. You go an unknown location. You were telling me, look, somebody's going to pick me up, take me to the airport. It's going to be in the middle of nowhere. The last time it happened, we were so traumatized in the group that a lot of people still carry that trauma. That, of course, would be of concern. So anybody watching this, find out the information, go on that journey, and we will talk a lot further about this. One thing I do want to come up, which we'll come up with after the break, is on a positive thing. We did a little experiment, you will remember, with good old Alfie on his 10th birthday. We're coming to him and Alfie's, what we called Alfie's rice test. So coming up after this break, we'll have a quick update on Alfie's rice test. But for now, Charmaine, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.